Most Americans thought Barack Obama was a great, outstanding president and set an example how a president should act when becoming a world leader. But not a lot of people, including myself, knew too much about his bad controversies and good decisions he's done when he was the United States president back in 2009 to 2017. We are about to find out about the decisions he made that either helped or caused a lot of controversy in the country and why he did it, because being a president of a country isn't the easiest job in the world. You have to do a lot of important tasks that a majority of people are going to like or hate when it is implemented into the law. Also, there is a diverse group of people in politics that divides us into multiple separate sides, and the President of the United States has a lot of influence in doing that. Barack Obama, he was born in Honolulu, Hawaii on August 4th, 1961. He later moved to Chicago as an adult to work as a community organizer. Over there, then he became an American attorney and politician who served as the 44th President of the United States from 2009 to 2017. He is a member of the Democratic Party, and he was the first ever African American to be elected to the presidency. He previously served as a U.S. Senator from Illinois from 2005 to 2008 before running for president. As the first African American elected president of the United States, Barack Obama is a charismatic, professional, and caring guy. He became a pivotal figure in American history even before his inauguration. But after winning a second term in 2012, his achievements in office have made him one of the most transformative presidents of the past 100 years. He took office with the country in uncertainty and led it through the Great Recession, 2 deadly wars, civil unrest, and changing cultural demographics. In the 2008 campaign, he called for change. And 8 years later, we are living in a more prosperous country because of it. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, Barack Obama did help and improved this country significantly, and there is evidence to support it. There was a lot of backlash from Obamacare, but here are the reasons why it helped a lot of families in America with this law being passed. The biggest benefit of Obamacare that he implemented in 2010 is that it slows the rise of healthcare costs. It does this by providing insurance for millions and making preventive care free. This means people receive treatment before they need expensive emergency room services. In 2016, the cost of healthcare services increased 1.2% for the year. That's much less than the price increase of 4% in 2004. And children can stay on their parents' health insurance plans up to age 26. As of 2012, more than 3 million previously uninsured young people were added. This increased profit for insurance companies. They receive more premiums from these healthy individuals. Also, it requires all insurance plans to cover 10 essential health benefits. These include treatment for mental health, addiction, being sick, and chronic diseases. Without these services, many patients would wind up in the emergency room. Those costs are passed on to Medicaid and therefore the taxpayer. It lowers the budget deficit by $143 billion by 2002, according to the Congressional Budget Office. It does this in 3 ways. First, it reduces the government's healthcare costs. Second, it raises taxes on some businesses and higher income families. Third, it shifts cost burdens to healthcare providers and pharmaceutical companies. Also, it provides subsidies for middle income families. It expands Medicaid to more low-income people. Also, it helps small businesses offer health insurance. Obamacare was designed to both lower healthcare costs and provide better healthcare for society as a whole. Healthcare needed these reforms because it was becoming too expensive for consumers. It was also devouring most of the U.S. federal budget, and it's a common myth that Obamacare increased healthcare costs. Republicans most likely made that myth up to blame him for it. But in reality, Obamacare has reduced the rise in healthcare costs. It does this in 2 ways. First, it allows parents to add their children to age 26. As a result, more young, healthy people pay premiums but don't use the system. That adds to health insurance companies' profits. They can pass these savings on to customers, and Medicaid expansion allows the poor to get treatment for their chronic illnesses before they need the emergency room. Under Obamacare, some received preventive care for the first time. Prior to 2010, many of them were forced to use emergency rooms as their primary care. Hospitals passed those costs on to Medicaid and consumers. Keeping poor people out of the emergency room keeps healthcare costs lower for everyone. Now, Obama did a lot of things that were definitely controversial and not good when he was president, like implementing the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. It was signed into law by President Barack Obama in March 23, 2010. A major overhaul of the U.S. healthcare system, Obamacare aims to reduce the amount of uncompensated care the average U.S. family pays for by requiring everyone to have health insurance. But if they didn't sign up for it, they would have to pay a tax penalty, which 54% of Americans opposed it. Also, 30 million people never had company plans and relied on private health insurance. Insurance companies canceled many of their plans because their policies didn't cover Obamacare's 10 essential benefits. For those who lost those cut-rate plans, the costs of replacing them are high. Obamacare requires services that many people don't need, like maternity care. And it raised the income tax rate. It taxed those who didn't buy the insurance, which was very unfair. 4 million people chose to pay the tax rather than pay for the coverage it provides. The Congressional Budget Office estimated they paid $54 billion in taxes from Obamacare. And pharmaceutical companies had to pay extra for its new benefits and policies that was established and more advanced medicine that were expensive. Pharmaceutical companies pay an extra $84.8 billion in fees between 2013 and 2023. That pays for the new stuff they got, like advanced medicine, medical devices, new equipment, and more technology devices in Medicare. Drug costs could rise if the company passes this on to consumers by taxing them. In 2013, Obamacare raised the income tax rate for 1 million individuals with incomes above $200,000. It also raised taxes for 4 million couples filing joint returns on incomes exceeding $250,000. The rate increased from 1.45% to 2.35% on income above the threshold. They also pay an additional 3.8% Medicare tax. That applies to the lesser of income from dividends, capital gains, rent, and royalties, or income above the threshold. Also, a lot of people don't want health insurance being run by the government because they have full control over it and make their own rules that people are obligated to follow. And if they don't, then they are punished for it, like paying lots of taxes, which sounds like it has too much authority over the American people and causes a huge problem. Didn't like Obamacare. It had strict rules that were really unfair to health insurance companies and pharmaceutical companies that were in the program by law. And the consequences for the people who didn't sign up for it, that had to pay lots of taxes in order to pay for the program and make it possible, which a lot of rich individuals didn't agree with because they don't want to pay for someone else's health insurance through taxes taken away from their paychecks. There are some people who rather find a different health insurance company that they are happy with having because of the rules and policies Obamacare has, that some didn't like, so they chose a different company that with rules and benefits they did like. The other thing too is that not everyone makes a lot of money to get the good coverage Obamacare provides. But at the same time, he did it with good intent, to make sure every single American has health insurance because he cares about his people. It's just there was a ton of backlash implementing it because there were pros and cons to it that not a lot of people knew about, and complained after knowing what it could do to insurance companies and the economy of the United States in the long term. Writing and researching about Barack Obama was really cool and interesting because he is one of my favorite modern era presidents, but after knowing about the good and bad things he's done with his most popular bill that he signed into law, goes to show that any president of the United States aren't always the greatest in what they do for the country, even if the intent is to be helpful. There are always going to be disagreements no matter what. Any world leaders are going to eventually make controversial decisions that not everyone agrees with. Whether you're from the left or right side in politics, a president cannot please everyone, even if you support them.